What is up, fellow outcasts and other rejects? It's Nier here, and welcome to WTC, the Anime Outcasts. First off, if you're new here, we upload anime what-ifs based around My Hero and other shows alike. Secondly, did you know 80% of our audience is not subscribed? So if you want us to continue making good content, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. The last thing I remember before losing consciousness was opening a package. After that, it all went blank. All I could hear was screaming and explosions. And then I woke up in a crater. I wasn't dead was beyond me. Izuku Midoriya had looked around to see nothing but destruction. The buildings had been demolished and burnt to almost nothing, and there was no sign of life anywhere. Only burnt remained of those who weren't crushed by falling debris. Only Izuku remained the center of it all. Before he could even begin to move his body, a bright light shined in his face. It was from a nearby helicopter's spotlight. Holy shit! There's someone alive down there! Listen, heroes are on their way! If you can't move, get to safety! If not, stay calm and hold on tight! The helicopter flew away, and Midoriya forced himself onto his feet and climbed out of the crater and onto a nearby building. I gotta catch my breath. I need just a few seconds. It's all I need. However, before he could do that, a loose power cable dropped from the ceiling and hit Midoriya directly, sending lethal amounts of electricity throughout his body. Make it stop! With all the strength he could muster, Midoriya pulled the cable off of him. He dropped to the ground. Although he didn't feel any pain, he felt better than ever. I should be dead. What the hell's going on? Blue electricity had begun to emit from his right arm. And before he could even register what happened, a large bolt of electricity had fired out of his hand and into a nearby wall, destroying it. What's happening to me? I can't... my head! It hurts! It hurts! As his arm started to emit even more electricity, lightning began to strike all around the green-haired boy, destroying everything around him. Make it stop! Make it stop! Make it stop! The teen fell to the ground, head pounding, and finally his wish was granted in the form of a final lightning bolt striking him down, knocking him out cold once more. A group of nearby heroes had found the unconscious boy, surprised that he was alive. There's someone alive down here! He needs medical attention, now! My god, how in hell is this kid alive? Doesn't matter! Where in the hell's the medic? The paramedics had arrived on the scene, and they surrounded Midoriya, placing him onto a gurney, allowing him to be airlifted away to the nearest hospital. After the incident, I was unconscious for 2 weeks. Doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. Any medical equipment they attached to me overloaded, and my body became a living battery with what nearly seemed like an unlimited amount of power. While I was out, the world changed drastically. People who were quirkless before the blast suddenly gained powers of their own. And there were even rare cases where someone with quirks gained a brand new power entirely. That was the only good thing to come out of that day. Low-level street thugs suddenly became entire gangs, taking over districts, making heroes needed more than ever. You couldn't even go a full minute without hearing gunfire and screaming. And then there was the plague. Leftover radiation from the blast that ended up killing nearly thousands of people. Thankfully, thanks to our advanced technology and those with healing quirks, the Hero Public Safety Commission was able to contain it until a cure or a vaccine could be made. The closest thing to a cure were those who gained powers. For some strange reason, we were completely immune to it. In the meantime, just had to accept it as our new normal. That coma gave me a lot of time to think about my life, even how I came to be in the center of that explosion. When I was 4 years old, I was unlucky enough to be diagnosed as a quirkless. In an attempt to make my life a little brighter, my mother bought me my very first bike. And as it turns out, I was pretty good with it. Learned a few tricks, and was even able to show up Bakugo. Finally, something I was better at than him. I still remember the look on his face whenever he face-planted the sidewalk, or when he fell on his bike, trying to do a trick. Being a winner actually gave me the confidence I needed to just try new things. I even took up free running. It was illegal, but the thrill alone was worth it. Just being able to climb up high and look down at the world just made me feel powerful. I could do anything. Maybe even become a hero. Then when I was old enough, I got a job as a bike courier. Sure, the pay was terrible, but at least I made some money. But then one day I was told to take a package to a certain address. I really didn't think anything of it. Just a normal job. Deliver a package, get paid. Then deliver the next one. Although, when I got there, I got a phone call. Some guy called me and told me to open the box. Then, it all went black. I'll never forget that voice. Best way I could describe it was powerful. Something about that voice frightened me to my core. It felt like if I didn't do what he said, I'd die. But then I almost did. In a hospital room, an unconscious Midoriya slowly woke up to the sound of the machines that were hooked up to his body. He looked around and attempted to get out of bed. However, before he could even pull the sheets off of him, a doctor with goggles entered the room.
Well, it seems someone has finally woken up. How are you feeling, young Midoriya?
Where am I? What happened?
You're in the hospital. Some heroes were brought here after the attack. We were worried whether you would even wake up. Although I had a feeling you'd pull through in the end.
The doctor had begun to explain everything to him. Everything had taken place while he was unconscious. The explosions, the plague, and even the sudden appearances of what appeared to be extremely powerful quirks.
It seems that the explosion has awoken a dormant quirk within your body. You see, the radiation left behind caused quite a lot of people to gain quirks, it seems. It's mostly those who were quirkless, but we have had a rare amount of cases of people who were already possessed quirks gained new powers. You seem to have gained some sort of electricity-based quirk. A powerful one, I might add.
The now living power source looked down at his hands and saw small volts of electricity emanating from his fingers. So, you're saying I have a quirk?
Exactly! You've gone from being quirkless to having a very powerful quirk. Congratulations, child. Once you're discharged, we'll have the people help you get accustomed to your new power. Now, if you excuse me, I need to get to one of my nurses. They will call your mother.
Once Dr. Garaki left the room, his tone changed drastically. He pulled out a phone and called the only contact on it. Master.
Hello, Master. I have some bad news. I'm afraid I won't be able to extract these newly created powers. Forgive me. Our so-called friend lied to us. The Ray Sphere didn't create new quirks. He created something completely different. And to make matters worse, it's gone missing. I've even had some of my Nomus search the area, but I'm afraid we've had no luck. There's no sign of it anywhere. Not even the heroes have found it. And I don't have the blueprints to make a new one from scratch. He's taken everything! It does not matter. We will still continue with our previous agenda. For now, continue with your research on the conduits and producing more Nomus. Conduits? A fitting name for the new power wielders, don't you think? I I suppose. But what about him? Should I send a Nomu? No. That would simply be a waste of resources. After all, he's already proven himself capable of destroying them without struggle. But what if he comes after us? What if he plans on using the Ray Sphere again? Then I will take care of him when he does. Farewell now, Doctor.
Weeks passed, and we find ourselves at the beginning of the original series. Over the course of this time, Midoriya had trained both his body and his new powers. It had been dubbed electrokinesis. He discovered that his new power could not only be used as a weapon, but could also be used to heal himself and others. He could fire bolts of electricity out of his hands, and if he was too injured or ran out of electricity to use, he only needed to drain it from the nearest power source. He also discovered that he could also survive falling from great heights without a scratch. Albeit, this was discovered when he accidentally slipped whilst free running. Although being powerful, his quirk came at a cost. He could no longer bathe properly due to the fact that whenever he was in water above waist level, it started to fry him from the inside out, causing him to have to bathe with a sponge. He'd also begin to feel immense hunger or drowsiness when in areas with little to no electricity. This was discovered after the apartment building he lived in had a power outage, and he had to drain battery-operated devices to keep himself on his feet. However, the biggest inconvenience his power had caused was he could no longer sit inside of a vehicle. Any vehicle he sat in would just explode due to the fact that his electricity produced so much power it would cause a fuel tank itself to explode. Luckily, he still had his own way of getting around. Thankfully, despite the disadvantages, he still planned to become a hero with his new powers. We see the young Conduit on the roof of his apartment building, training his offensive abilities. In front of him, there were several mannequins, each of them covered in dents and burnt marks, thanks to the almost non-stop training he'd been putting himself through since being discharged from the hospital. Okay, you can do this! You've done all the calculations. You've been able to increase your power supply. You can do this! Just focus your energy and push it out! Electricity began to emit from his arms, but instead of shooting it out as lightning bolts, Midoriya makes a pushing gesture. This created a blue shockwave strong enough to send all three mannequins flying at a great distance, with one of them falling onto the street. Yes! I did it! I did it! I created an electromagnetic shockwave! I knew it would work! I have to do it again! Unfortunately, training would have to be saved for after school, as his mother Inko had called for him. Izuku, honey, you need to hurry up or you'll miss the train. You don't want to be late, do you? Oh, crap! Midoriya grabbed his bag, jumped off his apartment building, and landed safely on the street. That will never stop being awesome. Izuku Midoriya, how many times must I tell you to stop jumping from heights? You're gonna give me a heart attack. Sorry, Mom. I'll catch you later. Bad boy. And with that, the electrokinetic boy had begun running to the train station, more excited than ever, unaware that a hooded figure had been watching him from afar.
Impressive. You've already begun developing new techniques, but you're still no way ready for what's to come. I'll be keeping an eye on you, boy. Until then, I expect you to grow stronger. If you fail to do so, then I'll simply have to push you in the right direction.
Thanks Outcasts and Rejects for watching till the end of the video. If this video gets 80 likes in 2 weeks, we'll continue the series. Other than that, if you have any questions about the series or channel, sound off in the comments or feel free to join our Discord. Alright guys, it's been a while since I've recorded just about anything. Just finished some major life moves. This is a big series for me. This is for our newest writer and also our art person, Droid, who wrote this series. Very happy to be voice acting this series and continuing all the other series we've been doing. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being so patient with us. And with that, I'm going to close out this video by saying it's been Nier Ven. Peace out.